Okay, the moves. Okay, the moves. Mika, the moves. You know we're live, right?
Yeah, I know we're live. I'm just
Okay, just don't
still
stop.
listening to Red Wine Supernova.
Don't. Yeah,
So
oh well, you have to. We're doing a live stream. I'm Andrew. Somewhere is Mika, out in the dancing universe, just living large.
hey everyone, I'm Mika. I do things. Yeah, hey everyone, welcome to Roll D5 Open Mic Night. We unfortunately had to cancel tonight's stream, but we've implemented a new open mic thingy, whatever. So, you know, Andrew and I are just gonna pop on for like an hour to 2 hours, and we're gonna talk about guiding or GMing, and also AMA.
Yeah.
So
and we talked about doing like a discussion of story crafting in general, which like ties into guiding, but I think it's important to talk about the difference between like a TTRPG story versus like writing a novel, because the techniques you'd use for one are like, you know, it's helpful to be informed for both, but I think that they're different. I think that they're fundamentally different. But
yes, go on.
Me. Sorry, I already started.
Yeah,
talking.
no, yeah, you said the thing, and
let's talk
like now
about
I want to know.
Okay?
Like I agree with you, but I want you to go on since you brought it up.
Yeah, well, you know, I think it's important to recognize. Okay, my theory of stories as a whole, I envision a group of people around a campfire. I envision one generation trying to help the next be their best selves. And classically, fairy tales have always been interactive, right? Stories, for longer than, you know, there's been any nation that is a nation on this day, stories have been interactive, right? And at some point, a lot of stories started being collapsed. And like, I'm not here like rallying against the printing press all of a sudden. I'm not that guy. And I'm certainly not here to say like, don't watch. Was that a thing?
Oh my gosh. No, it was in Nauvoo. There was a newspaper printing. But so for people who are watching, I'm ex-Mormon, and Andrew Nevermo went to BYU, and so, which is how we met. We didn't. Actually met like via Tumblr, but we were both. And anyway,
wow.
So newspaper was printing not great stuff about the church, and so Joseph Smith had their printing press destroyed. That's like the most condensed version of it.
Got it. But it wasn't like complete anti-printing.
No.
Like, it's hard to pitch people on, you should read this book if you don't want to do a lot of printing. Anyway, I am not opposed to the fact that stories have been condensed down into singular versions, right? I do. We were just talking with our wonderful tech human being on about like a PowerPoint night or like a slideshow night with friends. My slideshow is always how Disney collapsed the fairy tale, because it's always about how this infinite versions of Cinderella became Cinderella the movie, you know? And now this fairy tale became one singular thing. But I feel very adamantly about stories being interactive, which is why TTRPGs bring back what I think is one of the most human experiences of all. But the way that you tell a story that has interaction versus a lack of interaction and has to be singular has to be very different. And I think the number one factor, if I were to like just pick what, if I had to condense it down to one thing, it's that in a story, a linear, condensed, non-interactive story, you have to give your characters. I hope that's not my internet that's cutting out.
No, it just does this sometimes. I don't.
All right.
It could be Wi-Fi connection.
I see you.
Baxter, you need to decide. Do you want to come in or go out?
Was Baxter chewing on your internet cables again?
Probably.
What a cliffhanger. I said the number one factor, and then I stopped talking about it for a minute. I think the number one
sorry.
factor... No, it's okay. That's me. I should have kept going. I'm not a professional. I'm just excited, passionate, enamored with story. The number one thing is initiative. Like, the character needs to want something and pursue that thing, right? And you have to keep your character moving forward in those compressed non-interactive stories, because you have to like give them something to want and pursue. In an interactive story, it's not the same. The players have some responsibility in what direction their desire, their want, their initiative is going to go. And so you have to allow them room. Of course, you can railroad any TTRPG. You can just be like, you are attacked, roll a d20, see how this goes for you, and now that's the game.
Have I told you how I, as a player, completely changed the campaign from what it originally was? Because we were not having a good time.
So this is the best.
Yeah. So, oh, Baxter. Now he's laying in his bed. Okay, cool. So I was playing with some people I knew from college, from SVU, and I don't feel bad saying the names of places in my life because it's so easy to find me, because I've just been using my full ass name online. So
your name is not
really doxing myself. Thank you. It's Mika.
You have a beautiful name. Your full name is like truly extraordinary.
I was actually talking to my mom about this the other day. We were in the car, and I don't remember why names came up, but she asked me, like, do you like your name? I was like, for up until I was 19 or something, I did not.
Oh.
Well, no, that's because like the whole biracial thing, I just wanted to be a basic ass white boy, because I thought, hey, that would make my life so much easier.
Yeah. I was just talking yesterday about like Hebrew names with some Jewish friends at the theater I volunteer at. So I get it.
So what was that? Oh yeah, okay. So this game, the guy who was GMing was somebody who really wanted to be a writer, but was not the greatest writer. But he was enthusiastic. You know what? Sometimes you just need that enthusiasm. And he practiced, he worked. Could not write a good campaign worth a damn, though. This is where my line of paralysis comes from because of this game. We kind of wanted something eldritch, but it didn't. It's like there were aliens and stuff, and there were a few points where our characters just couldn't move. The saving DC was like 25 or something, and then there's like a fade to black, so our characters were experimented on or something. And I was playing an Artificer. This was during the pandemic, and so like the Artificer had just come out, and so I was playing game like, hey, this is really cool. I like this. But then the GM made being an Artificer just kind of pointless, because he gave us tons of money, and he would just let me create whatever magic item I wanted. I'm like, okay, so I guess I can't do my Artificer infusions. That sucks. But then he let our small town characters run, let us start a newspaper. And so my good friend Beck and I, like, he and I had lived together previously, kind of worked together, and we changed the entire campaign to us for the newspaper going out and interviewing monsters.
Wait, that's so amazing. That's extraordinary, because that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, that kind of, like, in a traditional novel or movie or fantasy of any sort, there's always those self-insert characters that authors put, or stand-in characters, right, for the reader to relate to. And that's how you often get the over-exposition of, like, don't get mad at me, but the Parapet and Fourth Wing is some of my least favorite writing I've ever read.
I've never read Fourth Wing.
I'm not shaming Fourth Wing as a whole, but there's like a stressful scene where like she has to walk across basically like a tightrope, and on either side she falls to her death. And to calm herself and to focus, she closes her eyes, she gets super intense, and then she like recites the history of the world. It's like if I did this. It's like if I was like, okay, time to do a backflip. In 1776, like it would be the craziest. Yeah. So like I specifically hate that.
I'm thinking of a Game of Thrones character doing that now and going through the entire history of Westeros.
Right. It's like that's not like, so you have these self-insert characters, and the bad way to do it is to be like, well, let's just recite the history of the world. The good way to do it is to give them a passion that we can glom onto, because you don't have to understand the eldritch horrors of the world. But if you give a character a passion for their newspaper and they go and interview the eldritch monsters of the world, then you understand them and you get that depth of lore that you care about. I mean, like that's literally like it was utter perfection. I'm just so amazed.
Much fun. Which is why I had like every time I play Warped FM by Goosepoop Games, I shout out to Jordan. I really enjoy it because it's a GM-less game, which I wanted to jump into, and you play a radio host, except you're doing your laundry and you just discover that one of the dryers opens up 2 different dimensions, and so you're interviewing different creatures, and by the end you're supposed to guess what kind of creature they are and like their plan, what they want to do, like take over the world or something usually cooler than that. And then as the podcaster, they have to try and guess your favorite item, and so you kind of have to drop hints about that.
So you're playing riddles with friends?
Sort of. It's just improv. It's just lots of improv.
You're like, answer me these riddles 3 to figure out exactly which creature I am.
Can you imagine if instead of toll booths on highways, we had trolls? And you had to answer
on highways.
Yeah. Yes. And so you had to answer a riddle before you could continue forward. Like the congestion that would cause.
Yeah. I mean, it would arguably help with the lack of critical thinking that, you know, a lot of folks seem to be experiencing. Maybe things like critical race theory would be properly instated again, you know? If we only had the right kind of trolls, not the cyber trolls, but the troll booths. The troll booths on the freeway.
The Phantom troll booth.
The Phantom? Did you ever listen to that audiobook? We are so... I don't know if we're supposed to be on topic, but goodness.
We should jump in a second. But yeah, Phantom troll booth, read it as a kid. Is there a good audiobook version?
It's read by Rainn Wilson of Office fame, and he reads it very well.
Okay.
But when you read it as an adult, it's not as engaging as when you were a kid. I don't know what you remember about it, but it's
the time
like
dog who got really mad every time you said killing time. The watchdog, sorry.
Yeah, the watchdog. Okay, for one, check yourself.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself, Mika.
So
also, hi, Jaden.
when it comes to DMing, when it comes to being a guide.
Yes. Okay, no. GM-less games. Jumping back because I was talking about GM-less games. I think that goes very well with what you're saying about making sure people are engaged and the players are also writing the story. This is why I love GM-less games. Like the game Thursday, for example. I know you hate time loop games, but it's described in the rules as treat this as a writer's room. And so you can combine just talking about the story versus actually RPing it if you want to. And that's what I like about GM-less games is like there are certain guidelines you get with it, like Viva la Queer Bar. It's all about drawing a card and then the number and the suit you check on a table, it gives you a memory, and then you as the players guide the story about what that memory is.
I really love that. Yeah, big fan of that, honestly. I played... I can't remember what it's called. I played it on this channel. but I've played a lot of TTRPGs. GMless games are very fun. It puts more responsibility on everyone, you know? And I understand the balance of like, okay, give one person the brunt of the lore responsibility and everything. I love when it can be shared, because then everyone gets to engage at the full capacity that they would like to.
Yes. Another thing I like about Thursday is that there are 2 sets of playbooks. You know, one for your character, but then one for splitting up GM duties. So there's the home team, which is creating the nice NPCs, the away team creating the antagonistic NPCs,
Cool.
the city, which is just describing the setting, and then the loop, where you get to decide if a scene should end, if like nobody else decides it should end, and after each time loop you get to describe how much stranger things become.
Yeah.
And of course, like, you all collaborate together, but like that is your main duty.
I like the concept. I really do. I do, as you said, I often struggle with time loops, but I think the reason that I struggle with time loops is because they often defeat the purpose of cause and effect, you know? But we can talk about that later. We have a question.
A question.
Yeah, Mika, you want to take it?
Sure. GMless game question. How do you know how/when to scene transition for keeping a story on track?
It's a really good question. Do you have an automatic answer, or do you want some time to think about it?
It's one of those, like, for me, it's a combination of taking improv classes, but also like having gone to school for writing and stuff, you know, English degree, writing degree. You just, after a while, you just kind of know, you know, you feel it, like, this is like, it's enjoyable, but this is dragging on. Like, we have other things we have to get to, especially when you're on stream. It's something you have to be. Also, yeah, if you stream a lot, often it's something that starts to come to you, because you know you have a certain amount of time. Typically, you only have people for a one shot. You know, you can't be lollygagging. So it's just a sense you develop after a while, after GMing enough, or playing enough GMless systems, or after streaming enough. Lots of different things that go into it, which probably isn't the most satisfying answer if you don't have those backgrounds. But so the easiest thing I think it could be is, what do we still have to get to? And how long has this scene been going on? Keeping track of those 2 things.
I would agree that it's something you can get a sense for, but if I had to put it into a formula, if I had to like make a theory of when you need to scene transition, I would say in the middle of it being a good time, but right after the best time. Like, don't let it. I would say you want the like emotional or comedy or whatever high point of it, whether it's, you know, high or low. I think you get the idea, whether it's dramatic or comedic. I'll say that. You let your high point, right? Everybody at the table laughs and it's petering off, and people still have good jokes. Good. Don't let everyone tell their joke. Keep going. And then you can keep moving up, right? Same thing with the sad moments. Let it reach, like, you know, the greatest pitfall. Everyone feels that. And then someone, you know, puts the hand on the shoulder and says, we're going to make it through this. That's when you cut. Like, you need to jump.
With a nice button.
The button helps. It's nice to have a button. If you don't get a button,
not needed.
Still jump. Still jump. I would always err on the side of cutting sooner than later.
Yes.
Because if you feel at all that you can cut, you should. That means you're ready for the next thing. And again, you get a sense for it. This isn't a hard, fast rule, but I think
your answer,
on that
I think,
feeling,
is the best answer.
Stop. But I do feel strongly about it, that it's like, if you feel that you have the emotional room to move on, go there. That's probably where you want the story to be, and you should trust that intuition. I don't think that there's any one type of storytelling or any one type of story or genre or anything that can do stories better. You know, different cultures have a different way of telling stories. You have to trust what compels you, because that's also more interesting and authentic to everyone else engaged in it. You know, you don't have to agree with the story decision to recognize, oh, this was a decision. And that's the big thing, is that it should be intentional.
As On says in the chat, having a table who is on the same page is truly very, very important.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. Like, it's one of the reasons why I almost never do casting calls and stuff anymore, and just rely on the people I already know, because I've typically played with them before, and so we know how to navigate stuff like that a lot better.
For a GM-less game, I would agree. Having some experience with people really helps. Even if all that experience is like a good session 0.
Yes.
You can do it with a good session 0. It's easier to have that rhythm with people that you just have. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. History, repertoire with, whatever. No, rapport. Rapport is the word, not repertoire. Yeah. I'm an English major. I'm not currently an English major. It shows. I also don't believe in the that English is anything but what we decided is at this given moment. And I believe that everyone should make up their own word.
Yeah, Shakespeare made up tons of words. The reason we add Y's to the ends of words, like foggy, Shakespeare.
Really?
Yeah, it's fascinating. I'm not a huge fan of Shakespeare.
I am.
Which is mostly just me not caring for old language. But lots of fascinating stuff about him, the way he tells stories and stuff. I just don't enjoy reading it. Like, I will enjoy Shakespeare if it's a Shakespearean company doing it. Having been to the Globe Theater, seeing professional Shakespearean actors actually do this, or seeing
for you,
or seeing clips of famous actors who are Shakespearean trained, like I can't remember his name, but Hot Priest, David Tennant,
Andrew Scott.
Andrew Scott, thank you, Andrew Scott.
One of the good Andrews. They're not all good, but that's one of the good ones. Andrew Jackson, horrific human being. I wish nothing for Andrew Jackson but turmoil. Andrew Hosier, proud to share a name with Hosier.
As far as I know, the singer Mika is a good guy, so
congratulations.
Yeah,
that's so good.
I'm sure there are lots of random Japanese women named Mika who are also really good people.
I'm sure they're wonderful. I have a book called To Be or Not to Be, Choose Your Own Adventure, and it's Hamlet told as a choose your own adventure novel. And it's pretty, it makes a good case for what we've been talking about, which is that a linear story has a different responsibility than an interactive story. And it shows how much agency you can really take. And so I've been playing as Ophelia in this To Be or Not to Be, and it's like a classic choose your own adventure book. Like, pick one of these 3, turn to page 323, you know? One of the old classics. So I'm Ophelia. I'm currently in England, flirting with Cleopatra. So I'm having a great time. But it has a different responsibility, and I just like, I am so thrilled that you perfectly exemplified what I think stories should do in your example of derailing the campaign. I think it's important in a dynamic where you are a guide, how much you listen to your players. Because for all of the story crafting difficulty that guide that you had was clearly having by stringing together a campaign, your guide also did a good job listening to the players as to this is where we want to go, and you have to like be attuned to
I will
that.
give that to him. I will give that to him. That he went with it.
Right, because that also takes a I'm not going to call it an act of courage, but it's trust. It's trust, and you need that trust to have a good story. I mean, especially like I think Roll D5 perfectly exemplifies it in how we work so diligently to tell the kinds of stories that we want with groups that represent that. You know, like it requires trust and trusting that the table is going to listen and interact.
Yeah.
So I love when a DM or guide or whatever concedes. I don't know how else to put it. You know?
Like, yeah, I never really thought about that, but truly good on him for actually going along with that. Pretty enthusiastically as well. He was excited to play the different monsters, figuring out how to play them, how dangerous they were to us. That did put a little light behind his eyes, I think.
That's good. That's good. I think I saw a little comment and it's making me laugh. So
yes, Ash and I are in a Curse of Strahd campaign together.
Oh, okay.
Tell
me about that.
Also sends me things about the Pokemon Wooper and Clodsire because I fucking love Clodsire. This curse, it's called What We Do in Barovia, and so more of a lighthearted take on Curse of Strahd. I play Citruna Dove, who, when he popped in, his backstory was that he had been like the summon undead spell, and he just stuck around, wandering around, made it out of Barovia through the mists, ran into some fae, and they thought it would be funny to give this little skeleton boy so much enthusiasm. And so he's always a very positive character. And then recently he met his mom, who was a hag, and he turned into a hexblood, no longer a little skeleton boy. And he is now an Archfey patron warlock. And I love that subclass. Because I just get teleported around the field. Yeah.
That sounds fun. Going back to trusting the players. Trusting the players. My first ever guide, you played with, Mika, back in school, and do you remember this?
Yeah. When we were at BYU, and I got asked by what's his face, like, why are you here? To play D&D? Like, why do you think I'm here?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's not what I meant. I'm like, no, like, it doesn't. I know a person, so I'm here. I'm playing. Do you want me here or not, buddy?
Crazy stories. But to the point of trusting the players. My guide was great. He said, he goes, okay. You walk through the portal. You wander out onto the creaky wooden pier. There are mists and bog and smog above you. The smell is dank. And inside you feel some deep-seated magnetic pull off to the right where your eyes glean a beautiful yet decrepit city. The architecture, beautiful. The state of it, depressing and intriguing. Something is just wretched off to the right as the planks go this way. To the left, the planks are broken. And to the right, a beautiful, gorgeous landscape and city with such an interesting history. And we go left. He's like, and he takes his notes and he's like, we're doing a different story. He planned a whole, he's like, nope. But he was willing to. And I think still makes me laugh. I feel bad about it, but we were like, oh, we don't want to go. It's decrepit. Let's suck somewhere else. And I think you have to trust the player, And I think it's important that as a guide, you be open to it at the risk of not having the same experience that you were planning. And it requires of the guide the same as it would for every GM-less game, but it requires of the guide not just malleability, but again, that trust that we were talking about, that the players will continue to make choices that suit the story and suit I don't know, that kernel of golden fun that's like right in the center there. I don't know. I sort of just started on this because I think that Disney collapsed fairy tales, but was there any specific thing you wanted to? Sorry, I realized that I just was getting grumpy at Cinderella again.
That's so good. I will remember the one thing that did kind of leave a bad taste in my mouth with that game was my character, because I was very open about being gay. I'm like, cool, you're at BYU. I'm not going to hide this. I'm gay. Right. D&D BYUers, get over it. My character was over-sexualized by like the one femme player there. Like there were just a few times where I'm like, just because he's gay doesn't mean he's going to have a harem and this, that, and the other thing. So that made me a little like, it's more of a hindsight thing at the time, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah,
but...
well, and again, when you're at a table with players that you trust, and as a guide, you have to let people represent themselves. Obviously, let them do the descriptions for themselves. It's,
although I do enjoy when people are like, oh, like I have an idea for your character for this thing. I'm like, go for it. And then if I don't like it, then say no.
Right. But it's shared. It's a shared responsibility. Yeah. And I think that we owe it to each other to engage in that level. Like I do agree, you should have ideas for the characters. You should be like, what happens if I push you in this direction? Because then there's that innate tension that in like a novel, an author has to create. As a guide, you just get to be like, what do you do with these roadblocks? I don't know. Do you have a specific method when you are crafting? Let's say, I mean, it doesn't have to be a one shot, but even just a one shot. Do you have a method where you're like, where do I want to start with this?
Oh geez. I guess it depends on the game. Like with Triangle Agency, where you start is with the morning meetings, where each player kind of gets their interest. So like that's easy enough as a where do you want to start. Also, what is your mug?
Oh, my mug is Yiddish insults. Is it backwards or is it forwards? I don't know what the camera's doing right now.
I think it's forwards. Schlumper.
Yeah. Schlemiel, Schlemazel. Those are intertwined.
Shmuel.
Yeah, these are just a bunch of Yiddish insults. They're important to me existing. So.
All right.
Sorry.
So I guess depending on the game, it's. I mean, I always enjoy starting in Medea Ray. Is it Ray or Rez? Medea Rez?
I don't know. I hate that people care. I know what you mean, and that's sufficient.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's see. When I played Night Hag, the first time, I had everyone meet up at because it was a club that people kind of put together about having seen the Night Hag and how to survive, essentially. So it was everyone gathering for that, and the most recent person who had died left behind their research like, hey, this is, I'm pretty sure, how you kill the Night Hag. and then they went from there.
How you started the conversation, or
how I started the session?
Okay,
I guess, or
yeah.
I don't know. I think I might need some what I might need some examples from you.
I always start like way too high level because I'm me. I have like a question that I'm trying to answer in every session, in every campaign, long term, short term. Like I'll have one for each session, even if it's a one shot, and I have it for each session, even if it's like, you know, a 2-year campaign. Every single session has a question, and then there's like the major dramatic question. And so my longest campaign, my question to answer was, what is our individual obligation to helping when larger systemic problems are happening, you know? And so then each episode, because it was episodic in that way, was like, is it your obligation to help this town that you're passing through? Like, you want to help, you have the power to help. Is that what is worth your time? Are there other obligations that are larger than that you have to prioritize? And I just sort of shoved people in a roundabout way back into the horrible tensions and decisions that we all face today. But it's my method of reminding people through TTRPGs that they have agency.
Yeah.
Because people forget, like, we live in a world that requires fighting. What does your fight look like? You know?
Yeah. Depending on the game, like if it's a more serious game, I have more than one question, and what it is questions for the characters as they make their decisions.
Yeah.
And this is better when we get further on. Like for a game that War-Torn Knight, or Matt and I are wrapping up based on the Fate Stay Night universe, these, like this last like quarter of the game, it got very heavy on me digging into characters and their motivations. For example, in the story Fate Stay Night, 7 mages summon 7 heroic spirits like King Arthur.
Oh, I just started watching the abridged anime on YouTube.
I didn't know okay, that's fun. And as people were making like alliances and stuff, one person had the idea of like, okay, let's do this one thing and have like everyone get their wish granted and save the city, because like backstory stuff, the Holy Grail War happens once every 44 years in Torred, and it's because Torred shifts between a new place each year, and it's a whole thing I'll talk about some other time.
Okay.
But the person like put forth their idea of what they thought the wish should be and try and get everyone like, okay, you know, whoever wins, this is the wish they should give so everyone can have their wish. And so after that moment, I'm like, no. Not all of you agree with that. And so I asked Victor, like, okay, what is Benito, your character, actually like? Is there a hidden thing? And then, you know, Meadow as his heroic spirit, like, what's your actual thing? And, you know, she responded like, no, if I actually find the person who's going to turn into the Grail, if they piss me off, I'm probably going to rip their head off before we can actually bring the Grail forth and get the wish. And then I asked someone else, like, your character especially, like, do you agree with this? And she said, like, no, honestly, if she wins and gets the Grail, this is what she's actually going to wish for. And so, like, it's fun poking and prodding and asking their, whether through NPCs or like above table, you know, I enjoy asking, like, okay, if your character thinks this, you know, what if this happens? Like, your whole thing is people should die when they're meant to die, but then if your Magus dies and you're close to them, like, won't you protect them though, even if you think it's their time to go? Like, what's
right? Yeah, I think that grabs another point that I think is important in TTRPGs and thusly in life. I think you have to rely on the people that you're playing with and especially the GM or the guide. I keep looking at GM-less game and saying GM when I mean guide. Anyway, I think it's the obligation of the people at the table to at least attempt to know each other, to see each other, and to like hold each other accountable for what their characters would do. So I love that you do that in that you did that in your game. Like, is that really what your character, like how they would respond? Isn't there more at play here? I think by pushing people to be accountable to their supposed ideals, you get a better story and you get a better world all in one. TTRPGs are just practice for overthrowing the government, okay? That's really what I'm trying to say here. It's just we're all slowly...
No, keep going. Keep going.
I'm joking.
I'm not disagreeing.
I'm totally joking, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. The revolution will not be live streamed on Twitch. But it is. Yeah. I mean, not on Twitch, but we're probably going to see some footage. I think it's important to hold people accountable to the decisions that they've made before.
Yes.
Including the decisions that you as guide have made before. There's nothing better than when you have been like your players like pigeonhole you and you're like, wait, you said that this rule and that this rule. And that's like the best thing in a novel too, is when you're like, I've just figured out. It's like a mystery being solved.
Yeah.
Like, I've got you now.
I've definitely been called down like, wait, like you forgot you can't retroactively because you won't let us. I'm like, no, you know what? You're right. From this point forward, if we forget something, we forget something. We can't go back and be like, oh no, let's.
Yeah. Oh, I found in my notes from 5 sessions ago. What? Too late, man. We're here now. We're here. I had a character in a game one time where I was not the guide, but a player. And I was obnoxious and I wanted to talk to everybody. That was like part, I was a bard-esque character. And I was like, tell me about your childhood, like hometown. And then I was like, oh, tell me more about the architecture of this place. We were just like on a train ride or something, a blimp ride is what it was. And I said, I spend the rest of the hour of the blimp ride talking in great detail about the architecture, like throughout traditional architecture of this person's hometown. As it turns out, 2 sessions later, we are in this person's hometown, not by design. My DM literally was like, yeah, it's a really engaging conversation about architecture of the traditional lords and ladies. So I knew, and we're sneaking our way in. And I'm like, wait a second, is it this hometown? Is it this tradition? And I'm like, in my notes here, I'm like, so can we just sneak all the way around? Because I know the architecture perfectly. And GM's like, yeah. And I'm like, do I have to roll for it? You spoke for a whole hour. You told me you drew pictures. You can go. Like,
that's lovely.
So you hold people accountable, and it makes for a more engaging story because, of course, the guide then just turned up the difficulty of like the battle that we had because we skipped, everything else along the way.
Speaking of being held accountable, there was one game. I don't want to go into too much specifics to try and be professional. But the GM, by the last episode, I was fed up, and they said something for their NPC, and I straight up just paused. It was like the most unprofessional thing I've ever done on stream. I paused and said, wait, why would this child NPC care? How would they have known about, why would this have been broadcast? Why are they calling their character heroes? They didn't really do anything. They were abducted and then just kind of saved themselves. I don't understand. And then even the villain's motivations, you could tell they weren't the original villain because the villain ended up being a crush we made up for my character in the first episode.
Enemies to lovers, lovers to enemies.
And then everything he was having that character say during the climax, I thought, this is so dumb. Like, why are you thinking? And so I defeated him with non-toxic masculinity. Which is
that's
my
what
favorite way
about.
ever defeating a villain. But yeah, hold people accountable.
I think that through
not
questioning,
like that, but
probably not like that. But I think, like, table of people you trust. Through that questioning, you can arrive at a better story. And like, as a guide myself, I love when players are like, can we push the mechanic this way? Can we try this sort of thing? Like, what can we try? Of course, it's important that it's collaborative. But once you have that collaborative environment, I think you're doing what humans were meant to do, which is like walk together, sit together, tell stories, and flirt a little. And that's my thesis. That's my general thesis.
I feel like I should also say, like, the game wasn't bad. It's not a terrible it's just there were just a few small things that I just got really frustrated with by the end there. The ending just didn't stick for me. Thesis. You were joking that you wanted to talk about my thesis on stream.
I was pretty serious. I have it saved in my Gmail. It's the oldest email that I leave unread so I can refer to it and just like kind of look at it sometimes.
Oh.
Because it's like interesting to me and I don't really get it all the time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Me and my random surrealist bullshit. This is why when I asked people to describe my guiding style, they said, like an acid trip.
Oh.
You didn't? No, because we started putting like guiding styles.
Yeah, no, I know.
And so, so I was asking people, and like, I think it was between Queon and On, and like one other person, like the consensus basically boiled down to
a third person whose name rhymed with Queon and On.
Yes, yeah. Was like a good acid trip. And like,
wow.
All right.
Flattered? Were you flattered?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. I've never had anyone describe my guiding style. If I had the choice, I'd have Maud from The Big Lebowski, just like the quote, "He's good and thorough." That would be the idea. What do you think my guiding style is?
Oh no, I am really, really bad at describing things.
You're bad at describing things. Imagine being a guide who thinks that they're bad at. Imagine being a great writer who thinks that they're bad at describing things.
I'm bad at describing IRL stuff because I didn't create it. I would say definitely
thorough.
Welcoming, wholesome, definitely thorough, very caring as a guide, making sure everyone gets their time to shine. We talked about this earlier, knowing when to end scenes and stuff. You're pretty good at making sure people are involved and included. You don't let anyone fall by the wayside.
Thank you very much. I think that your guide style, if I were to describe it, having never been on an acid trip, so there's no reference point for me. I think
immersive. That's another.
Someone said immersive. I don't have any of the. I've not read anything that anyone told me. I'm so sorry. If I can look at the comments later, I will. But please forgive me. My internet does not like when I look at comments and stream. So, I think your guide style is batshit world on an intimate level.
Okay.
Like, I think that you bring craziness and make it so human. And I think that, like, the TTRPGs that you've created are perfect examples for that. My boyfriend is a cryptid. Like, absurd concept, but then you're like, yeah, I'm just like on a speed date.
No, that makes sense. Because like, you see this in my thesis and all my writing. My thing is the mundaneness in the surreal.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm fascinated by. Like, oh my gosh, cryptids, yeah, but they're on a Bachelor-esque dating show.
Yeah.
The do Corvid be destructive? Some of the abilities the Corvids can have include esoteric knowledge lost to humanity.
Right.
Exactly. I love that shit.
But then you're a Corvid.
Yeah. And you're just a bird who hates anti-bird architecture, but also you can shoot laser beams from your eyes.
Amen. Yeah. Also, the mundane and the surreal. Yeah, imagine being in a world with multiple genocides and you have to go to your job. Because...
Yeah, exactly.
Like...
Right.
So it makes sense, because to engage with it in a meaningful way is to process the world. And again, thesis part 2, TTRPGs are just staging grounds for the fighting the government.
So kind of going back to give more examples of what I like to do with the mundane.
Yeah.
In the otherworldly, to go, because On didn't know how we met, and so it kind of goes back into this. Like, we met via Tumblr, because you were going to BYU. It was in your profile, and so your profile was shown to me, and you had mentioned being
voice acting.
Thank you. And I had just written some audio scripts that I needed recording for a friend. And so I reached out to you. And in the particular script you read, it was somebody who was answering a bunch of, was it dating profile questions?
Might have been. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, this was 13 years ago.
Okay. That was
close. 12 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. And like answering a dating questionnaire. And it was, well, all these weird things were happening. Like, it was described his girlfriend turned into a bunch of cherry blossoms, and how you thought that was really dramatic of her.
Yeah.
And there was like the Brotherhood of the Traveling Tie, which was pretty normal, but then you add in this goddess. But a lot of this was also very grounded in his feelings.
Right.
And the turmoil he was going through. Or in another one of those scripts, health food journal, all this fantastic stuff's going on. Like his roommates, there's an amateur wizard. There is Bunnyman, who has the head of a rabbit and speaks in whispers and gnawing sounds, and he works at the butchery in the local grocery store. He finds and then there is the wizard's boyfriend, Zeke, who is a vampire, but also a manifestation of all of their collective thoughts. And at one point, he finds a pair of eyes on the wall, and he starts describing them, like, they're on my wall, and then he pauses and says, "Oh God, those eyes have seen me naked. Those eyes have seen me naked. Do they like what they see? No, that's not what's I'm going to put." And then also, he's just bitching about his roommates for most of it too. Not exploring the supernatural stuff, but like, I hate my roommates kind of deal.
Kvetching about his roommates.
Yes, he was kvetching about his roommates.
There you go. That's, yeah. I'm not selling this mug. I don't know why I held it up like I'm.
Where did you get it?
I had some novelty shop in another state that I will never see again. But I loved how you pulled the surreal into the mundane, and how it was just like a phone call. And like, I literally just like called you and I said, "Don't pick up. I'm going to leave you the voicemail. Save it." And that's how I did the voice acting. I didn't like get a fancy microphone. I just went, "Hey, yeah. She turned into cherry blossoms. I know." Like it.
I probably still have that saved on my phone.
Do you Really?
If I'm being honest, I probably do. I have to go and check.
Right. Yeah, that's amazing. But
fair.
so we met through the surreal. And like we live in a surreal world. We live in an absurd world. Is anybody watching the digital circus, the amazing digital circus? Do that, okay. Mika, the amazing digital circus, all on YouTube. Finale, very excited for it, coming up in June, I think. Anyways, besides the point, I'll say nothing about it because you should watch it, Mika, and I'll leave it there. I am also. On Netflix. It's on Netflix?
Yeah.
It's on YouTube for free. Don't worry about Netflix. It's on YouTube for free. Okay, well then you do you.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say.
I also watch a lot of YouTube, so I might as well watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, frankly, I use FreeTube, which allows you to subscribe to channels without being tracked by Google and having every move tracked, and it's like way less stimulation. FreeTube, you can download it to your computer. It's pretty cool. Anyway, see, there's me proselytizing for alternatives again. That was happening before the stream, and it'll happen long after. I am probably not going to be here for the whole stream. Mika's going to continue being amazing. But I
don't think I'm going to get many AMAs after this, honestly. So,
okay. Well, if there are any other questions, throw them our way now. Because I am just about hitting my time limit. But I came up with 2 theses, and I wanted to provide one more if I could be helpful in that way.
Rule of 3.
Rule of 3. Yeah, but my is rule of 3 my thesis? No hard and fast rules. I want to make my thesis about something that you bring up. It only seems fair to engage further with your ideas, like a true collaborative GM-less game. So what's something that you think is important within as a guide, as you're prepping for a story or playing a GM-less game? Either one.
Stock characters.
Explain.
I call this my Lemonomicon. I have a bunch of rollable tables that can be split up between genre, what have you. And I've got some for NPCs, for items, and a few for locations. And this is because you never know when you have to pivot. Like there's a random NPC, okay. Or I do something like this table saved me. Was it like 2 years ago for Pride? Because we were about to cancel a game because the guide had to drop out, and so last second, like less than 24 hours, I jumped in, and these tables helped me a lot. Yeah, just running one shots when people bring them up.
That's a really good system.
Here are some examples.
Yeah.
There is Otter. Their eyes glisten like dewdrops on glass, and they have very pronounced bottom eyelashes that let you know, hey, this person is V cute. They're in their villain era. Roll to see if you're attracted to them. Or a Bottom, who I based off of the character from Shakespeare.
Someone who doesn't like Shakespeare.
A powerlifter himbo in a leather harness with 6-pack abs that can see into the future, and a butt you can bounce a skull off of. Recently, his head has turned into a donkey's, and if you're not careful, he might make an ass of you too. Or there are, I've got some that are orc specific from that time we played Kissing Orcs or whatever it was. Sometimes I just use "who is she" as the description. Or there's Lorenzo, IT tech. Lorenzo's a short king who smokes in his tiny basement office because he doesn't trust the anxiety meds his doctor prescribes him. He's surprisingly relatable. So, okay, my favorite one, Todd from marketing. Todd's what happens when a mediocre straight kid from a good suburban family exists. He's mostly forgettable, easily replaced, and insists on making his own nickname, Double D. His only redeeming quality is his unironic love of the 1998 darling flick Practical Magic.
Incredible. Listen, we have got a few questions. we can go through them rapid fire, or I can leave them to you. What would you like?
Let's rapid fire.
Let's rapid fire. Why don't you ask? We'll do like a back and forth.
Wait,
You ask
the
first one.
Questions. Oh, I thought we had received questions.
We did.
That's what you were. God, no, you should go first then. Oh, On? Why do you think On is bullying Queon?
Wait, what?
I don't know. Queon is saying that On is bullying them. So why do you think they are being bothered?
You know what? Perfect segue into my question, which was that Queon hasn't played a game with me before. And I would really like to. First question, I want to play a game with you. That's the answer all the time. I want to play a game with you. Next question for you, Mika. Proudest guide moment.
Oh, there they are. Okay. I didn't see them.
That's okay. Proudest guide moment.
Okay, hold on. This is what my proudest guide moment. I really just off the top of my head, just asking people those tough questions about their characters. Proudest moment. Jeez, I've played so many games. It's hard to think about what his... I think my proudest guide moment was recently, like, as we're finishing up Fate Ultima, Matt and I have gotten several people, telling us how much fun they had, and I think, honestly, that's my proudest guide moment, is just people telling me they enjoyed themselves, which seems so simple, and I'm trying to think of something in-game that I'm proud of myself for doing.
It's okay. It's about that feeling. That's the whole point. Like, if that's what stuck with you, that's the most meaningful thing. I think my proudest guide moment was in my 2-year super campaign that was long spanning in my own homebrew world and system and everything. I made my own races, magic system, magic language, all of it. The proudest moment was... See, the players also made their own villain because they made a huge mistake and they mistreated somebody in a way that I punished for the rest of the campaign. And in a scene where the antagonist, because not the villain, but the antagonist, took exacting revenge on one of the players. I had 2 players crying. I had everyone like quiet in awe, like no phones or anything, just like completely just awestruck by the righteous vengeance as one of their own died. Like they were happy about they weren't happy about how it happened or that it happened, but they were like, yeah, that makes sense. They were like, we did this. And so that accountability, proudest guide moment. Last question. What is a game that you've yet to run that you really want to?
Oh, okay. To jump back to proudest guide moment.
Oh, please, yeah.
Not just enjoying, but when I run horror games, people afterwards telling me that they were creeped out. Because like as the GM, I don't have the same sense of... I don't feel the fear. I don't feel the mystery. And so I always wonder, like, did I do that well? I hope I did that well. And so whenever I've run horror games and people telling me after or during that they were creeped out, that makes me feel real good because I very much enjoy running horror games.
I love that. So what is a game that you've yet to run and you really want to?
Well, I have so many. But off the top of my head, Chega de Saudade, which is, I think, a setting for Orbital Blues. Or it can be run on its own. But it's written by a Brazilian creators. That was a weird way to phrase
yeah.
that. Brazilian creators made it. And so it translates to arriving at loneliness. Well, except saudade is the concept of saudade. It's one of those words that doesn't have a direct translation because it means more than just I miss you. It means, like my heart longs for you. There's something deep missing within me. And so when someone says, saudade to you, it really is a heartache. Like, I miss having you in my life. I look forward to the next time I see you. And that just sounds like, normally I'm not the silly game guy. Normally I'm not the sad game guy. But I do often, just funny, because I do very often in my characters explore themes of loneliness and alienization, like either in my characters or in my writing. I think that's a very common theme. And so everything about Chega de Saudade feels like something I would very much like to explore.
I love that. My answer is simple. The Great Soul Train Robbery.
Yes.
We had to postpone tonight because it is important that all of our players are supported, and frankly, we want a full table. So life happens, and I'm excited for when we get to reschedule and play that again. And that's it. I think for my third thesis about stock characters, I don't know how I feel about stock characters, but I definitely believe in the recurring character, whether that's in one campaign or multiple. So it's almost, I do very much believe in a recurring character.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can go so far as the stock character.
I guess stock character is inaccurate because, when you're thinking stock characters, you think like in Commedia dell'arte, you've got the lovers and the grumpy old man. So it's not really, they're not stock characters, but I think recurring characters, slightly more accurate.
Yeah.
Backup NPCs.
Yeah, it's a really good idea.
Just emergency NPCs.
Yeah, unless you've got a character generator that you coded yourself because you spent a year like preparing for a campaign that lasted 2 days. Don't recommend it. I wouldn't do it again. I won't in the future, probably. But that's my time.
Yeah. Cool. I think those were all of the questions.
I think so.
Andrew, can we play in a game where you make me cry?
I would love to, very much.
What do you mean on you did from me? What did I get from
it was a response to something you said out loud many minutes ago.
Okay, yeah. Let's play in a cry game. I'm trying to get more into non-streamed games because I'm finding I'm having a bit less fun in the space currently, and so I'm seriously considering like pulling back and just playing games with my friends with much less stress. We don't have we have to specific time at 7 p.m. Yeah, and so let's like you, me, on Queon. Just play a nice offline game where you make On cry.
That sounds great to me. All right. I think we're wrapping it up. Thank you, everyone. My name is Andrew Ian Seco, the first and last, and Free Palestine. And I love you all. All of you. That's it. Mika?
Hey, I'm Mika, and I recently learned what the Omegaverse is. I love all of you. I actually have a hard time with I used to have a really hard time with the word love. But no, I appreciate all of you. Andrew, I love you. I love you. Thank you for doing tech for us.
I love that everyone else just got downgraded. You're like... I appreciate you. Let's be real here. And you know what? That's fair.
It's
yours.
I'm very fond of you all. There we go.
Yours.
That's a phrase.
As you will. And that's that on that. We are gonna catch you next time. Are we doing anything? Are we just done? What do we do now? I'm just here.
I guess we just
am I in the void forever?
Maybe. We can send everyone over to somebody's heroes. I'm not in that particular episode, or to Entropy Emporium. I do love I play an Entropy Emporium typically every other Friday. JT, cool person. They are currently working for... I actually don't know if that's... So never mind, I'm not going to say that. JT is just awesome. Love their channel, love Entropy Emporium. We can say to my buddy 8-Bit Elliot, who I'm also in that Sunday Curse of Strahd game. Oh, about that Curse of Strahd game. Everyone else is either Australian or Kiwi. Don't know how I found myself there,
Cool.
but I love it. I love them. It's a lot of fun. I love that campaign. I'm just saying things now at this point. Sort of like in the Roll D5 chat when I was trying to discuss like, hey, what should we do for this? And I just kept saying things and nobody stopped me.
Hey, Mika.
I needed someone
Mika.
to... Yeah.
Hey, Mika?
Yeah.
All good. Bye, everyone.
Okay. Bye, everyone.